What is going on, guys? Before we kick off the video, be sure to check out my latest video on my second channel. I'd really appreciate your support, and who knows, you might just enjoy it. A link is in the description below. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another building guide. Today we're going to be looking at Feng Mao, someone I haven't ever covered before, but he's a hero that I've been playing a lot lately. Personally, I think Feng Mao is a great offlaner, and I know a lot of people assume he's traditionally a jungler, but he definitely does work in the offlane too. The build that I use is a mix between damage, survivability, and some team support. We've got the Centurion as our prime card, and I think every fighter hero should have this as their prime card if I'm honest. We then have a health potion, 3 healer tokens, yes, 3. This will provide us a huge amount of sustain in the offlane. Now if you do happen to lose your tower after say only getting 2 healer tokens, then you can skip the third and move on to your Madstones. Speaking of Madstones, we have 2 with 3 minor cast upgrades, followed by our early game Sage's Ward. We then have a Rust Breaker with 3 casts and another Rust Breaker with 3 major casts. Our late game Sage's Ward is with 3 greater healths, although if you want more damage you can always swap it out for 1 major cast. Remember that late game the idea is to have enough damage so that the enemy team have to deal with you, but also having enough survivability to allow your carry and casters to tear apart the enemy team. Next I've got a tempered plate with 3 minor guards and our late game tempered plate with 3 greater guards. Now in my Kwang video people were like, armor sucks, it's broken. No, it's not. Just because it isn't as effective as it was on Legacy, which by the way was actually broken, does in no way mean that it is broken on Monolith. This build late game will never get 3 or 4 shot by an enemy carry, which occurs way too much with a lot of people because of the way they build. We then have our Wind Carver Blade with 3 kinetics for some attack speed, and then Honor the Pure, which I've been testing out, but against a CC heavy team I will switch this out for Thermobond and adjust my build accordingly, usually switching out a greater health for a lesser health to cover the difference. Now you've got your build, let's go straight into how you need to be playing Feng Mao for maximum effectiveness. I will stress, don't worry about your offlane tower, it always goes. Sometimes I lose it in 4 minutes, sometimes I lose it in 7 minutes, but what I won't do is die for my tier 1 tower. It is never worth dying for this tower. Sure, sometimes things are out of control, but if you see the tower going, just back up. 9 times out of 10 the enemy team will retreat and go and spend their points, and you're free to farm peacefully. Like I mentioned earlier, you don't need to buy all 3 healer tokens if you've lost your tier 1 tower, but if you manage to get all 3 healer tokens while your tier 1 tower is up, it will definitely help you stay alive as well as protect the tower. The idea behind this is that if your team have taken the enemy offlane's tower, they can exert more pressure across the map. With the tier 1 towers both being up in your lane, the wave fluctuates between a smaller distance. This means that if the enemy carry and support from your lane have to rotate to help their allies out, you can easily push a tier 1 tower and potentially take their tier 1 tower before they take yours. What happens most times is that your team will be 4v3 with a huge advantage, so they're either going to get kills there or you're going to take a tier 1 tower. Alternatively, if you're closer to the Raptors, you can lane swap, which is going to set up your carry for potentially better farm because of this. Once you've lost your tower, players seem to be lost with what to do next. Personally, I'll sit in my lane and farm efficiently. Usually I'll find myself level or ahead of the enemy carry in CXP, which sets me up for a huge power spike in the mid game. I will also rotate if my team need me. For example, if the enemy team are grouping up to push mid lane, I'll definitely rotate to help my allies out. Likewise, if the potential is there for me to gank mid lane, then I will also do it. The problem with rotating to the safe lane is that you waste a lot of time for something that isn't set in stone. If the enemy are pushing your safe lane as 4 or 5 and your team are grouped up to defend it, if it's a tier 1, I honestly probably won't rotate. I have 2 other lanes I could be pushing and taking towers from. Now I'm not rotating because I'm lazy, I don't rotate because it's not CP efficient. We might save the tower and get a kill maybe, but we've sat and split CXP for a while, and sure the enemy team have as well, but every second is an opportunity to get ahead. So use it. The ability you first unlock should be your shield in my opinion. You basically soak up damage for free, and keeping your health pool relatively high is essential as an offlaner, especially when backing is not always an option. Next, if the enemy are already under my tower, I'll take my E to clear the wave. but if the enemy support has some form of CC, I will always take my Reaping Dash. This is because it's the most guaranteed way to dodge a stun. The way you upgrade your abilities now depends how the game is going. If you still have your tower up, getting your shield for even more sustain is not always a bad idea. I personally like to take my hamstring to increase the slow, which allows me to secure more kills. Reaping Dash's distance also increases as you level, so I'll generally try and get a mix of the two. I don't have much use for my shield in the early game because we do have a good degree of sustain and early game armor. But if you find yourself taking a lot of poke and struggling to survive, taking that shield is never a bad option. When you do decide to sit and farm peacefully, ideally you want to do it closer to your tier 2 tower. This forces the enemy carry to farm out of position, allowing your team to gank. If you're on comms, then it's an easy kill every time. This is exactly what I do here, and even though the enemy have a ward, it doesn't matter because they're so deep, and any jungler with CC like Sevrog, landing a single root is more than enough to secure a kill. Feng Mao has a huge amount of burst potential with his dash, hamstring and ultimate, and so even though the enemy are closer to their tower, a gank is always possible. However, the enemy could escape, like the Decker Cage almost allows her to get away, but fortunately my ultimate connects. If you do engage closer to your tower, however, they're less likely to escape because they have no tower to hide under. In this clip, I was just peacefully farming in the off lane, but now a fight has broken out, I have to rotate. Our Sevrog has gotten caught, but we can turn this around by collapsing on the enemy team. I go straight for the Decker because she's alone from her allies, and I think this forced her to use her cage in more desperation than anything. It was pretty much a waste though. My ultimate connects with Decker and Yin secures the kill. We then manage to catch their Yin out of position and get another kill. That fight was a 3v4 in favor of the enemy team, and we still secured 2 kills and remained relatively unharmed. I wonder why. It wouldn't be that tempered plate, would it? Once you've won a decisive team fight, you can invade the enemy jungle, take their amber link and steal their green. Ideally, you want to try and push an objective of such a big victory, but if you look at our lanes, they're pushing against us and we really can't get much from it. In the best case scenario, you want to set the waves and then fight. When you hit the mid-game power spike, usually when you've got 2 mad stones, a cheap rust breaker and your ward, you can definitely fuck some shit up, so don't be afraid to go 1v1. This is where Feng Mao shines, especially at this stage of the game. I grab the stealth buff, and as I make my way over, you'll notice I bring up the scoreboard and glance over Gadget's card. Know your enemy. If she has an active card, then I can be aware of this. I don't want to pop my ultimate into a stasis gem after all. I also don't want to use my Reaping Dash in case she has blink. So knowing your enemy is half the battle already won, because it dictates what abilities to use and when. Also, something to note, when I engaged Gadget, I waited for her to move away from her minion wave. Don't engage under an enemy minion wave because you'll just take loads of damage. I just want to show how tanky this build actually is at roughly full build. The enemy are also pretty close to full build. As I dive this tower, I get hit by a Gadget Tesla Dome, a Kwang ultimate and auto attacks from all 3 of them. I pop my shield, I use Honor the Pure, and surprise surprise, I live. This is because you're incredibly tanky, using your shields to soak up damage as well as the reduced incoming damage from basic attacks thanks to your tempered plate. You're pretty tanky late game. That's pretty much all it is for the build and guide, but since I recorded some full gameplay moments, I thought I'd highlight a few of them here.
Go then. What's she waiting for?
I know she wants me to engage, but I'm not going to engage. She should just come in first. I think that's a better option here. Well, at least the enemy Yin wants to engage, I guess.
Got him. Okay, the Yin got away. That's fine. I'll take it. Oh my god, that's a black buff. I could use this to... This could be huge. Don't take it, Rampage. I could use this. This could net us an easy kill. Potentially. Oh my god, they're still chasing her. Got him! Told you it would net me an easy kill, potentially. Oh, right. He rotated. So maybe we get this tier 2 for free. Oh, there's a Yin, but I think we should be able to get it. If my team notice, they can attack mid. Nice. Job done.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that thumbs up button. Let me know in the comment section below which hero you want me to cover next. I've seen some people asking for Crunch. Subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest Paragon content, and check out my second channel if you want to see more content from me.